Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 477th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. That's why you can't tweet and do an intro of a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cut the Check, Trasnell. That's an old nickname from a Patreon episode, but I'm joined by the person who was originally supposed to join me on this episode.
The resident, Kirklin.
The resident. And then we have someone making a quick little appearance that was just on the Halo review.
The crashing Taylor Field.
And then we have another person who stopped by to chat for a little bit, but now he's here to spare some of his time. Sir, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm the man without fear, Chris.
Yes, from Marvel Alliance. Welcome, Chris. We were talking about a whole bunch of things. He said, should we come on air? I'm like, oh, absolutely. So Chris is here, and that's exciting because I guess I should announce, too, that next week I'm going to be on Marvel Alliance, so that's going to be lots of fun. You, me, and Brent are going to be doing that. And
we decided to let you let that cat out of the bag. We were recording. We termed you as a multiverse we termed you as a multiverse variant coming through the portal.
Well, that's the way. See, I won't say it on Twitter. We'll see who actually listens to the GeekVerse, but no, because I had not listened to Marvel Alliance yet because I was at a soccer game where it's not. I'm just gonna say my child is on the Brown News Bears sort of team. We won one game out of the
Brown
four.
News. So we just said the Brown News.
Oh, bad news.
Bad news. That's Brown News. That's a
Brown News
movie.
That's the second movie. That's the second movie. But yeah, we won one out of the four. It wasn't. They're not the greatest, but they're trying. They're trying. They got to win. Yeah, it was pretty good. So
as my wife says, it's swarm ball. That's all we enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we try our best. So
are you yelling at the kids like, get back on defense, just like that, Dad?
No, I'm just I do the go Gwen or get the ball because she like sometimes she has this thing where
horn and everything.
She's a shy kid, so she wants to score, but when other kids have the ball, she's like doesn't really want to like almost take it from them, But she'll get that killer instinct.
She's polite.
Yeah, Marvel. Fanboy Clay says a Marvel cast on a Star Wars topic. I see how it is.
I would say like it's more like a DC show talking a lot more about Marvel than DC, but here we are.
Yeah, him and Hines always just so jealous over there. Clay, you're always welcome on GeekVerse. You just got to beat me in a gauntlet match again, and that's when your ban can come off. So maybe that'll happen in June. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is GeekVerse podcast. This is a newscast. We got some people hanging out for a little bit. So Taylor, where can they find us? I'm gonna switch around some of the topics because Taylor, if you're here, I want your opinions on a few things. So where can they find us?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with the internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse on our Facebook.
Yeah, so we got lots of stuff. Head down links below, and everything is there. The audio and video feeds. Our Patreon, that's the best way to support and subscribe. So we just did I think it was 2.5 hour episode yesterday of planning the next 10 years. And it was interesting because you can see that first half of the podcast, we were just boom, idea after idea. We were flowing. And then the next half, also good content, but that was a struggle. Like once we got into year 7, year 8, that was really tough to think, okay, what could we put here? Once we got Avenger, I won't spoil everything, but once we got a few of the big titles out of the way, so you want to check that out. That's a really fun episode. That's on Patreon right now, along with the originals where we talk about Taylor's internet hacker. And then, so we have in a few more weeks, May 28th, Saturday at 6 p.m. PST, we got the roast of Taylor Field. When are you announcing people for that? Are you right? You said you're waiting to like the week of, right? Because you want to make sure everyone's locked.
Yeah, I don't know. After the Maddie incident, I have to be careful.
Cow. He was the first ever Travis Troop, and he left the roast. But there may or may not be someone in this room that might be a part of it. But you'll have to wait to the week of because we will confirm everything. Kirklin, you're just gonna sit there because you're gonna be there for. But what are you? You're just there for the laughs. You're just there for moral support. What are you there for?
A little bit of both, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be laughing and. Yeah, definitely looking out for Taylor. If things get too crazy, start banning people if I have to.
Oh, there you go.
If they get too personal.
A shoulder to cry on.
Exactly. Yeah. I do kind of feel though if you're sitting in the crowd though, you're kind of fair game for someone to go after you.
I mean, you do that every time do a newscast.
No, that's not me. I don't do that at all. So
me and my little mouth. I'm sure that comment will be brought up.
That's just a truthful statement. That's not a joke statement.
Got a
your little
regular
mouth.
size mouth.
Well, that's not what Shay tells me. But anyway, so you need to go do that and support.
That's a positive on my behalf.
That you have a little mouth? I don't actually. You know what? Let's not get into that. I don't know that.
That's
a whole
average size.
Okay,
What I
average
took on the
size.
positives.
No, but I said that's
you know what they say, little mouth. You know, you never know. Yeah.
little mouth, little socks. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about that main topic because I don't know how long Taylor's here for. I want to start with the flip around of the casting. Taylor Field. You got some casting for Godzilla versus Kong today, which was very funny. So they put out this press release and they're like, or I guess Kroll did. He put out this press release and he's like, oh, we got the star and everything, and they're like the I gotta find the exact quotes because it's not him. He's just doing his job. He's a reporter, but he like reported what the plot of was the movie. Okay, here we go. Nope, I was wrong again. Fuck. Anyways, they were just like. They're like, the plots are under wraps, but this movie's gonna put like Kong and Godzilla fighting once again for some reason. It's like, well, no, duh. Like it's just like it's called Godzilla. It's called Godzilla versus Kong too. Like they're gonna fight again. Why? I don't know, because I feel like they were friendly at the end, but we're doing this. But
the question is the tagline. Is it going to be the revenge, or this time it's for keeps, or it's like one of those bad second movie Jaws?
I hope it's this time it's for keeps. Because like
Yeah.
Hair products, you know, keeps.
Taylor, did the last one even have a tagline?
It's just Godzilla versus Kong.
It's just
Like, do you mean in the header, or do you mean like something like they've just been like promoting on the marketing?
No, because there's always like the title, and then underneath there's like the
New King of Monsters. It's like I wonder who's gonna be the favorite.
Yeah,
in
like
this
there
one.
was Godzilla King of the Monsters, but this one I think was just Godzilla versus Kong.
No,
So-
Godzilla versus Monsters. That's not Godzilla King of Monsters. Is still the title. That's not a tagline.
Okay, so the Godzilla versus Kong 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That rhymes.
That could happen. Yeah, I don't think it got a tagline. There's no like who's big or whatnot and everything. But was this it? No, that's an art book. Never mind.
Fall.
But Taylor Field.
One will
September,
fall. Isn't that like the?
One will fall. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
like the
That's a
standard one.
tagline. Yeah.
It's like
They
Well, I
both
hope-
fell at one
Every
point,
time
so
I
that's a
hear-
lie.
Yeah. I hope
true.
I hope it's not Kong falling so much so, because Kong just continued to lose every fight in that movie. But Taylor Field, you got a casting. I think it was pretty much confirmed, but at least it's confirmed. Now the director's coming back, so I'm sure you're excited. But here's some trivia. Do you know Dan Stevens from anything?
He's from Legion.
Okay, that you've watched.
Let's take a look.
There's one
is there
in particular.
something you know that I would have watched
think-
that he's in?
Yeah, there's one movie. I think it's $1 billion movie that no one knows it's him because most of the time he's hidden behind
Beauty and the
something.
Beast.
No shit.
He's the Beast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't have expected that at all. He's in Night at Museum as well. That's interesting.
Oh no! Hansy's happy about that. Yeah, Downton Abbey. Fanboy Clay's right about that. I hated the Round the Beast time because everyone was so mean. They're like, they showed pictures of Dan Stevens as the Beast. They're like, I liked him better as the Beast. It's like Dan Stevens is a good looking guy. He's a good looking
He's
chap.
handsome.
Yeah, and it's like, but so Taylor, you got a guy who's a relatively good actor, not the biggest name, but a good actor. What are your thoughts on this? I guess more just like, what are your thoughts on you're getting content updates? They're moving along. They're in pre-production, so it's on its way sooner than rather than later.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic for this. I mean, that last one we got, I truly felt like they could pick up and they could continue if they so choose. But if this is the concluding story to this arc, then I'm okay with that, and I will sleep peacefully at night with this because we got to this point, and that's what I'm happy with. After Godzilla King of the Monsters, I was on a whole kaiju high because they just did such a great job at diving into the Godzilla realm, in my opinion, with that movie. So with this, it just got really, really crazy and just awesome monsters fighting. And Clay, they had good writing. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm so down. Like, there were rumors about like Son of Kong, I think, initially, and now just to be giving us this more in this realm, I'm all for it because there's just so many other monsters that they can dive into, and I just want to be immersed more into this world.
Yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts on? Because I remember you were on Slice of Film for this one, weren't you, when it came out?
I think so.
Yeah.
Jeez, like pandemic just makes pandemic brain. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was. Yeah.
So where are you on this as far as like a Godzilla versus Kong 2? Are you excited about this? Are you excited because Dan Stevens, you watch Legion, correct, for our viewers here?
No.
You did not? I thought
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Oh, I swear I thought at one point we
No.
were hosting you had
No.
said
Nope.
something about Legion, but
Nope,
one
I have
time
not.
is it on Disney Plus for you guys over there?
No, it's probably on Hulu because
Okay, it might be on Hulu.
Yeah, so,
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
for us it's on Disney Plus. But if you like Hannibal, that's where you go.
Mhm.
But then where are you excited at all for Godzilla versus Kong 2?
See, I really like Godzilla King of the Monsters, like the last one before
Mhm.
we got this one, and it left me wanting more. And the darn humans screwed up the movie so much for me. And I think that's always what it's going to come down to is how bad are the human plot going to be to ruin this movie for me. And it was that was I just when I go see a Godzilla versus Kong movie, I just want to see monsters kicking the crud out of each other. So
And I can't remember Godzilla versus Kong that first me. I'm trying to look up the run time for it because I feel that like, you could cut a lot of that human stuff, and even if it was an hour and a half, it's an hour and 53 minutes. I feel like you could easily cut like 23 of those minutes, get down to an hour and a half, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Probably less budget too.
Well, if they're gonna dive into more of the lore that they kind of set up and in the last one at that point, then I'm definitely there. But if it's just gonna be, oh yeah, we'll reference it, but we're just gonna kind of move on from it. That was what more is intriguing with the growing the world of the monsters. So
Kirklin, where are you? Because I same thing. You don't know Dan Stevens from anything, do you? Other than Beauty and the Beast, I'm sure you saw him. And everyone should go watch The Guest. The Guest is the first movie he did with Adam Wingard, the same director. It's fantastic. It's a nice, quick, like hour and a half, like horror thriller. Really, really good. Really fun. So check that out, people. Put that on your to-do list. But
Good to know. Yeah, it's funny when I went and saw Beauty and the Beast with Shay. I just kept saying her. I'm like, I think that's Dan Stevens behind the CGI there.
that's a lie.
No, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I haven't seen him in anything. Yeah, handsome guy. I'm excited to see him a part of that project. not scratching the bit for it. I think anytime I get just big CGI monsters on screen, I'll be down to see it. Especially just feasting off Taylor's hype for it. It's gonna be good times. Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool.
No. Now here's the thing. Now if we get Godzilla versus Kong versus Jurassic World,
If Sam Neill's in there, Taylor's all in.
that's true. Spare no expense. Spare absolutely no expense.
I feel like you'd have to they'd be versing, but I feel like Kong and Godzilla are gonna have to team up against the dinosaurs eventually. Because if Chris Pratt
Eventually, the dinosaurs are a problem at first, but eventually they'll team up to fight.
No, that's what I mean. Like they'll be bullish and like I could take him out by myself. I could take him out by myself, but then they'll be no. We gotta work together. And then there's what's the bigger threat that Jurassic World, King Kong, and Godzilla have to take?
Family,
yeah. Or aliens.
Get some Transformers, get some Vin Diesel. I mean, Vin Diesel scares a lot of people these days, so get Vin in there.
Particularly directors, I guess.
Right? Yeah. That's the problem. He's not gonna be able to work with Godzilla or Kong. They're so much taller than him, right? So he's gonna have a real issue with that. Like imagine that. Imagine a kaiju fight, big Vin Diesel up there. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get huge, but. Everyone watch Crank 2. There you go. So.
Well, at least he doesn't have written into his contract that he has to win. So I mean, there's that.
Yeah. That they'll tie together. Oh, and then they can build Godzilla and Kong like their own vehicle, like a Kong-sized vehicle. Man, they're just destroying the entire city to save the city. So.
Spare no expense.
Yeah, so here's the thing for me. I love Dan Stevens. I love Legion. It's up there. I will watch it because it's kind of like Mads Mikkelsen or Fassbender, where I'll watch anything. I'm not expecting this to make me like the movie, no, but I probably was kind of out of it, and then now this has brought me like, okay, I'll watch it. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know if it's like a villainous role. I don't know if it's like just the good guy. I don't know if we're gonna have any of those characters from Godzilla versus Kong coming back as well, because a lot of them are still alive. So we'll see. I guess I'm just happy. I'm happy for Taylor because I did think this was. I still think there's version, or there's a multiverse out there somewhere where Godzilla vs Kong was the last one. Like if we didn't get no pandemic, I don't know if it would have done as well, but I think because people were just wanting something like a big adventure, it did really well. So
I definitely agree with that.
yeah, so I think because you look at all the other movies, it was going down, down. It was never on the uprise. So, and Family Like says Kaiju Vin, yikes. Like I said, look up Crank 2 Kaiju Jason Statham, and that's pretty much what you'd be getting. That would be Vin Diesel. It's a scary image.
Now, my question is, they're doing an Apple TV Plus show tied into the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
So
I bet that's just going to be we've talked about before, that could probably just be a bunch of scientists like looking into stuff, but yeah, I don't know what that would be. I don't know if it would even be current day. I don't know if it would be set in the past of like trying, well, I guess that's kind of Skull Island, but
It's, from what I found on Google, it's following the battle between Godzilla and Titans that left San Francisco like rattled and stuff. So maybe I think
it's just damage control. It's just
just damage control.
It's just a show of them putting together everything. So
It follows a family's journey to uncover its buried secrets.
that sounds like Parasite, the plot of Parasite. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So we'll see that. We're getting a second one, so it'll be a fun review nonetheless. But you know what we're getting something of is apparently a Star Wars movie, which I don't believe them at any point. That's why I say apparently. I don't believe we're getting a Star Wars movie at any point. This is non-existent. People joke they think The Flash is non-existent. No, a Star Wars movie is non-existent. But we got some quotes here from Michael Waldron. I'll have to pull it up to read it verbatim here pretty much. But Taylor, I'm going to throw it to you because obviously you're a big Star Wars guy. I think that's part of it. You were sticking around for these two comments and then, oh man, I put in Michael Waldron in Google. There's a lot of Michael Waldrons that are not the writer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So
be careful what you click. You don't want to know where you go down that path.
I don't want to go any further, but Taylor Field, pretty much what he was saying, like I said, I'll find the exact quote, is he was saying that he likes working on this right now because unlike Doctor Strange, there's not like a bunch of continuity he has to work in, a bunch of characters, a bunch of sequels, stuff like that. And that's what kind of started the inspiration for our main topic here of like, didn't say anything about Knights of the Republic, but everybody right away jumps to, okay, if he's talking about doing a Star Wars movie where there's, no Skywalkers, no Kenobi, no ties to anything, he could be maybe embellishing, or if he's telling the truth, what era do you think that could be in Taylor Film? Do you think that it is for people jumping to the Knights of the Republic conclusion? Do you think that's justified, or do you think that's still just people like really like holding on to it? And here's the exact quote. We're finally in it, Ernest. I mean, I'm writing away. It's lots of fun. I'm enjoying having the freedom to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything. It may be less of it just doesn't have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you're servicing on top of that. I did that Doctor Strange, so it feels nice. It's a different exercise. That was the exact quote.
Yeah, when you are discussing the idea of a time period, I think it's not dark times. We're gonna get something that's kind of much more in line with what people want, and that's just the Feige.
Feige guarantee.
The Feige guarantee. He's stamping it. He's hit his ink pad and he's stamped it on the script. Feige guaranteed. So it's gonna be something good, juicy, and I'm all for it. So him kind of talking about not incorporating all these different pre-established narratives, I feel like that is, again, reflection of it being in a time period that's out of the main focus of I would say the 6 films, including the Clone Wars and the Dark Times, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So we could get something that's post Return of the Jedi, and I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility, but I do think it's at the lower tier of that spectrum. I definitely think his film will be it might not even be like super old Republic or High Republic, but it could be just pre-Phantom Menace by a little bit, or it could be, maybe it is a movie that is just saying, hey, Feige, we're just going to send these audience members way past episode 9 and just move on from there. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be anywhere within the realm of the current films.
Well, I feel like, though, when you said in between 6 and 7, that's what Mando's doing, right? And then we even started to bump into Skywalker saga characters there. So that's where I think it's tricky. I almost feel like that set the precedent of shows in between there. And then plus, I feel like we got Acolyte right now. I feel like you're kind of inferring if it was before Phantom Menace, it would be some High Republic stuff, right?
Yeah, and again, we have about 200 years to play around with there, between the High Republic that we know through the novels and then Phantom Menace. So again, that's a lot of it's a lot of room to work with. And if the only thing that he would play around with is Yoda, I mean, that's definitely not a major reoccurring Star Wars component that's like that he's commenting about that's affecting the story.
So what's your percentage on if this is Old Republic? Because obviously that's what's on everyone's tongue. You got the remake coming for the game. That's what everyone's waiting. It's like, oh, when we get more of that. And I feel like the other reason why there's some kind of heat to that is everyone hopes that if it's Old Republic and it's a hit, Feige could like corner out his own little part of Star Wars and do stuff in it because he wouldn't have to worry about anything else. But what is your percentage? Are you actually thinking there's any chance of that?
I'd probably give it like a good 85%.
85. I'm very surprised, because I feel like you made it sound like the very close to Phantom Menace stuff was more likely the way you're speaking. So like, is that like 100% and this is 85?
No, that's not 100%. That's a little bit lower. I'm only going like 85% because I just don't feel confident in Feige tackling that part of the Star Wars universe.
Oh wow,
he could go.
You don't trust him in the Old Republic, eh?
No, I
See
do
what
trust
he's
him,
doing with
but
the MCU? Come on.
Yeah. He could honestly send us even further back than the High Republic. Like, it depends how wonky he wants to really get. It could honestly just be a movie about Wookiees for all we know on Kashyyyk. Like,
that would be bold. The Kevin Feige movies about Wookiees on Kashyyyk.
$1 billion Wookiee movie.
Yeah.
A lot of growling and moaning.
Yeah, it's all subtitles. There's no English. It's like a really artsy
No,
film.
there's no subtitles. It's just that's how bold Feige's gonna get. It's just a bunch of big giant bears that walking around and just growling and moaning at each other.
And it's a
At the end of it,
complete.
you'll know some words.
Yeah, exactly. You'll learn something. Yeah, and it's the complete opposite MC, where it's like this is the worst reviewed Star Wars movie, worst box office, stuff like that. Oh man, I got like Palpatine in the back here.
Yeah,
with
that
my
was
lights,
scary.
But
Let someone appear
yeah,
behind you.
someone's gonna pop out like host. But what do you think, Chris? Like, one, I gotta ask you because I feel like like I see Clay in the chat because we always bug him in the GOA chat about Star Wars like content and movie and stuff. Do you think this is a movie that is gonna see the fruition? Because obviously you got Solo and Rogue One, but both like Rogue One had some issues in the middle. You had Solo that switched out directors, and other than that, we haven't got any movies. They've all been lots of stops and starts. So, do you think this is one that will actually get to production and fully? Because even production, it's not safe. It's like, do you think that Feige and his team will get through a actual movie there at Lucasfilm, or do you think this is going to maybe go the wayside of like the Rian Johnson trilogy, or even something like Patty Jenkins right now? It's still in the works, but it's just like it's off the schedule. So do you think this is actually gonna happen?
Off the schedule.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna happen with Feige, with his pedigree, with what he kind of stands for, the MCU at that point. I don't think he wants anything tied to his name that says, oh, it never happened. Like, failure is not something that he would necessarily kind of tolerate in his kind of ego or what have you at that point. My question is, do we see him do a movie without any sort of quote unquote Jedi or Sith? I'm not, you even look at Mandalorian. Okay, it's not about Jedi or Sith, but here we are, and end of season 1 we get the dark saber, and then in season 2 we get spoiler, Luke Skywalker at that point, and then Boba Fett. So I mean, can Star Wars completely successfully do a project without true mention or following, without Jedi or Sith being involved?
That's so tough, right? Because you got Rogue One, which did do that. Well, no, I guess because
Solo is more like that, but even with Darth Maul, but it's more like that than Rogue One is.
Yeah, no, I was before Chris and Taylor just cornered me in the corner. I was gonna say, right away. I host this show. My God, no, I forgot that. Yeah, Vader was heavily in the marketing. There was breathing. There were signs like that. Solo, and I wouldn't even count Solo because Darth Maul they didn't show in the marketing. That's just like a one little thing. And the Solo was the one that went like not the greatest for them as far as box office goes. But again, we've talked about it for many problems. Also, just being like in the middle of Infinity War and Deadpool and stuff like that, like not a great call. So that's why I just feel like Feige would want, I don't know, if it's been talked about for, I don't know, since he's been running the MCU, like, oh, Feige's also a big Star Wars fan and he loves Star Wars. I just feel that he would want to do something with a lightsaber and a Sith and a Jedi or whatever it may be. Like, I don't know if he could resist it. I think that would be, again, not as bold as the Wookiee movie, but I think it would be pretty bold if, there was.
No, I'll give you bolder. Ewok, just all Ewoks there for it. You want-
Jedi Ewoks. That's it. He's like, I want Ewoks versus they got Godzilla versus Kong. We're getting Ewoks versus Wookiees and see what happens.
Yeah,
That's
there you
personal.
go. Book it.
Yeah, this time is per keeps. Yeah, but yeah, I still feel like there will be Jedi in there, and I still feel like that also has to do with Lucasfilm maybe being scared. I don't know. They greenlit the whole Patty Jenkins movie, but so they clearly want to do movies without Jedis and stuff like that. It's just like, can they get that off the ground? I don't know. I do think it will, because Clay has a point where he says Feige will play ball unlike Johnson and Jenkins. Johnson apparently played ball. That's the thing. It's just that they're scared to play ball with them. Like, if you look at the past, the first one with JJ and with episode 7, there were some tension between him and Kathy. And then apparently JJ's kind of said before where episode 9 like had a lot of hands in the pot. Like, they've all kind of insinuated that was like a messy shoot. If you look at all the Star Wars like rumors or like actual like trades putting stuff out, there was nothing ever said about Rian Johnson, any problems. I just think that like, I think Kathy and the whole Lucasfilm squad saw Last Jedi and thought this is going to be great. That's why they greenlit that trilogy before the movie even came out. And I remember everyone being like, man, this is going to be a great Star Wars movie. They're already giving him a trilogy. I think they're just scared of him putting stuff out. I don't actually think they don't want to not work with him. So I do think this will happen, but I always wins because I just don't know how to feel about Star Wars movies right now, because I thought Patty Jenkins was going to be a lock, and that wasn't, because Patty's a great director, and yeah, sure, Wonder Woman 2 wasn't the greatest, but still, like, great director, very passionate about the project. My hope is that it's been stewing so long that it will work out, but as far as the Old Republic, I feel like it is High Republic or pass. I feel like even if it's not Old Republic in the sense of we're tackling Revan, we're tackling all this, something in that era so you could be away from it, I think that would be lots of fun. But Kirklin, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I feel like this one it's just been stewing in the darkness and just been pretty quiet. Not much like drama has been coming out around like the Kevin Feige Star Wars.
They
movie,
announced
and
this before
not a
Rise
whole
of
lot
Skywalker. Is when they announced this.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember actually. I think we like did a cast going over just all these future Star Wars projects and how excited we were for Patty Jenkins, Rian Johnson,
and our excitement
here
died
we
with
are.
Ben Solo. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like I don't really have any reason to. Actually, no. Let me hold that back. I do have reasons to think why this won't come out, but I don't know. I just think it's too good. Like, big name Feige, big name Star Wars coming together to combine an awesome project, hopefully. So I feel like I'm just forcing myself to be optimistic because I really want to see it. And in regards to like the time period, I feel like it's so much more likely personally for it to be a High Republic, just because there's a lot more like recent like new stuff about that,
Books,
like new canon.
games,
Yeah,
comics,
exactly. Like a lot of stuff to pull from. I obviously want to see the Old Republic, but I just feel like that's such a big can of worms to open. Like, you have to introduce so many like new concepts of just like different era of the Star Wars world.
But reverse, if it hits, you got multiple Disney Plus shows. You could have a couple movies there. Like, the Old Republic has like a section. Same as High Republic. Either one, you could have a whole section of new Star Wars content for people.
Yeah, either one works. If I had to pick one or the other, I think I would go High Republic, just because it's been more relevant lately. Old Republic hasn't been touched upon in a while.
That game, though,
one day,
the remake of the game.
One day we're gonna be watching Old Republic, Disney Plus series and movies. But I just feel like we're not quite there yet. Like, I haven't read the High Republic book. Like, I, as a general viewer, like, I don't fucking know anything about the High Republic. So if they just go right into the Old Republic, I feel maybe people will be confusing the two, like, since they've been pushing High Republic and then now they hear Old Republic, some people might be confusing the two, even though they're like hundreds, thousands of years apart. So
Do
hope it
y'all
happens.
do y'all see Favreau ever jumping out of the Disney Plus thing and jumping into a Star Wars movie? I mean, obviously he's proven his worth that he can handle the streaming. Do you see him handing a project to him for movies?
Taylor, you can say, because you gotta jet out of here. So
I definitely think that he could jump and transition over from the Disney Plus. He's displayed a prominent understanding of what fans like in the Star Wars universe with Disney Plus, and Disney Plus Yeah, you give me that look, but to me, I think he's done a pretty good job. He's got a good track record so far.
Where were you in January, friend? Where were you in January?
At this point, I think though, as far as testing goes, like Disney Plus was a great testing ground to see all these different directors taking on different episodes for The Mandalorian and just seeing what we can kind of put on everyone's plate and what kind of a result we get and what is the reception like and all that kind of stuff. So it's good testing ground. And now that we have that, I think they can kind of look at the different directors, particularly again looking at Favreau, and say, hey, if maybe we'll do another deal. You want to do Lion King 2 for us? Here, we'll give you a Star Wars movie. So
well, he's not doing Lion King 2. He's rumored to do Jungle Book 2, but Lion King 2 already has a director, so we're good there, Thank goodness. But all right, Ted, well, thank you for giving us some of your thoughts and everything like that. We will be seeing you next week at some point. I think the next newscast after this is a Kirklin Taylor double. So
there we go.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Good night, gents.
Yeah, you too. I think we'll actually, let's take our first ad break right here to support GeekVerse podcast, and we'll be right back because I want to answer that Favreau question. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So I was just looking at the his IMDb, and he hasn't directed an actual movie since Lion King, which is 2019, and then Jungle Book after, and he hasn't directed a real life movie with people in 2014 since Chef. Like those are still real life movies, but like those are he's working with like CGI people and this little kid. So I think it's pretty likely because I feel that Kathy, for better or worse, is handing them the keys to a lot of things. Now, it's tough because with Obi-Wan, there was those rumors they messed around with it, but then Deborah Chow said, hey, they didn't, so, it's kind of a mixed thing, and maybe it's not. But if it was somebody else that wasn't, like, Variety reporting, I'd go, okay, maybe she's right, but I feel like she's just playing ball, which is smart, so I feel that they really like this Favreau-Filoni connection. I could see him making a jump to do, because obviously he's directed episodes of the show so far, but I could see him making the jump. I feel like Kathy would trust him. I don't know, because people keep saying that they think that because there's been these rumors of all these shows are going to connect with Mandalorian, right? Like they're going to do that. Oh gosh, what was that one with Gina Carano? They were going to Rangers of the Republic. They were going to do, and then you got like our favorite Cobb Vance. Don't worry, I remembered, but. I feel like people have been saying, oh, it's going to lead to like a big movie. I don't know about that. I still know how I feel about a bunch of TV shows leading to like a big movie. Like, I don't know what the audience is. If all those Disney Plus shows and then you're watching the big adventure on the theatrical screen, that'd be a really exciting experiment to see. I don't know how that would do box office wise. Obviously, it's Star Wars. They would probably do well. And baby, like Grogu would be all over the marketing for that movie. So it'd probably still break even. But I think one way or another, Favreau will jump over and do something, even if it's just a one-off. I don't know if it's like, a trilogy, but I could see him doing one thing as long as he gets enough control over it. So what about you, Kirklin?
Yeah, I could definitely see him crossing over, doing his own solo. I could honestly see like a full movie from him in the Star Wars world. I don't know. He's got the track record. As you said, like I feel like Kathleen would trust him, and yeah, I think I would want it to just be its own thing too, like not attached to a series or anything. I think that could be really fun. You can really have him like put it all. It'd still be filtered through the Disney filter as all things are, but like still, I feel like he could really do his own project, and I think it would be really good. Honestly, I feel like I've liked at least like everything that he's kind of. I'm trying to think of a list of like things he's directed that at the top of my head, other than
Chef,
like
Iron Man, Elf. Chris's favorite Elf. Oh yeah, Chris loves Elf. Big Elf fan.
That falls into the category of Will Ferrell. I'm a Will Ferrell fan when he's teaming up with someone, just because there's not a team up with that movie. There's too much Will.
And the other movie he directed was Sathara too, the like pseudo sequel to Jumanji.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a few.
I've seen a lot of his stuff then. Yeah,
you should look at the trivia for Elf though. Apparently, after Elf, like him and Will Ferrell like hate each other. Like they did not get along after that movie. So. Yeah.
Fun
Just
fact.
creative differences and whatnot.
The lovely term.
Yeah. Would Grogu be able to lead marketing to fair box office opening where they need a show off the Star trope, lightsabers, dark side, light side? Well, the good thing is Grogu, I think he would have a lightsaber. I think at some point, I don't know how it's going to happen. Well, I guess it would be baby Grogu, right? But you got the dark saber. I think it would be enough made. It depends the scale. If it's the grand finale of 5 shows combined, then maybe it's a bigger budget. But if you could just do like a Mando, let's say he didn't do something offshoot. Let's say he's like, yeah, I'm making a Mandalorian movie, and it was Mando and Grogu. I think you could, for a right enough budget, get something. And yeah, you could show the, look at what the Rebels and animated series have done. At one point, it was just Luke was the only Jedi, right? And now Ahsoka's there, and now Kanan was there, and Ezra was there, and Cal Kestis, and all these other people, and then the Inquisitors, right? There's like 6 or 7 Sith popping around. So easily now you can be like, oh, between 6 and 7, there was this secret apprentice named Starkiller that Mando's hunting. Like I think they would show off some of those tropes, but like luckily for them, I think Grogu is going to become one of those tropes. Like I think he is I think him having a whole subplot in Book of Boba Fett shows that he is now a trope to show off to people because everybody loves Grogu. I see Grogu merch everywhere, especially like now being a father. Like I see that all the time everywhere. I will be interested because I feel like I know people that watch Mandalorian. I actually don't know anyone in my personal life that's seen Boba Fett, so I don't know the reaction to it, because even Emily, we're gonna get around to, but she's always like, yeah, like we'll watch at some point, but she doesn't care that much about it to like go out of her way. But Mandalorian, she does. So I don't know how people feel about Boba Fett as far as was that another big win for Favreau for the GA people. I think it was from my timeline, but that was definitely, I feel like, the first time in the Favreau era we saw some people be like, I don't know, like there was some issues with it, but I'm not counting him.
Kind of like Boba figuring out if he's a leader or not.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Should I be the Daimo? No, I'm not off all the time. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think Grogu alone, or like, do you think they could they juice him enough to get like a hit movie?
I mean, absolutely. It's Grogu. Come on, you squeeze a little, you'll get some juice. No, I feel like it for me personally, it'd be a little bit tricky to like as of like Grogu right now, like the Baby Yoda version of Grogu. I think he's definitely going to evolve into something bigger and better than ever. But I think it's a little bit too early like that. Like he would need to be in a crew or
what if
paired
it's
up with
adult
someone.
Grogu then? What if it's
just
that?
fucking shredded? Yeah,
yeah, he's huge. Yeah,
just wearing just pants, nothing up top, just pants.
He doesn't even have a lightsaber. He just has the guns.
He's like the Hulk.
Arms. Yeah, he's like he's a mini Hulk. Yeah,
that's where Kylo got his look from. It was Grogu all this time.
Gross swallow.
He was always jealous of him.
Yeah. That's why he killed him in Luke's hut. Yeah. What about you, Chris? Grogu, do you think he could be a good box office lead, or do you think you need a little bit more there?
I think you draw just on the novelty to seeing like big screen Grogu at that point, but I want to see teenage angst Grogu.
100%.
Like, I want to know what, instead of the cute little coos and sounds he makes at that point, I want to hear, like as we've gotten with Guardians, in the sense of teenage adolescent Groot. Just mouthing off to Mando.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could. I definitely at least see him aging. I think that we are gonna at one point see, whether it be a teen or adult Grogu, we will see that. They're gonna keep him around. I really do think it's
marketing. They gotta make toys out of it. Come on, that's what George was famous for, is getting that toy license. So I mean, they know what they have.
Well, yeah, and I feel like, and I like a lot of the sequel trilogy, and there's characters like, I feel Kylo Ren was really marketable, Rey is really marketable. Like we hear that all the time on Twitter, people like kids that go there all the time. They're always asking to see like the Rey character and stuff like that. I think though Grogu was the first thing for Disney Star Wars that felt like a almost like mega hit. Now people are gonna be like, oh, they have $3 billion movies trash, but I mean, like, that just feels like it's one of those things that just went into the zeitgeist. Like it was everywhere when Grogu hit. Like I said, like from lunchboxes to backpacks, it just feels like a lot that original trilogy of the toys when it's like those hit and stuff, and even some of the prequels, like obviously in the zeitgeist for a different reason, but like Jar Jar Binks was everywhere in the Phantom Menace there. I remember there was so much stuff. So yeah, it's I think it's gonna happen. Super Bad Mike said you'd have to travel ahead 10,000 years to get a Teen Grogu, incorporate time travel. I think you could easily. How old's Grogu, or how old's Yoda? Was he like 30,000 years. I guess we don't know the species, but I feel like 10,000.
so.
Is that a long? I feel like 10,000 is too long.
I thought he was a couple hundred.
Yeah, I feel like he's only a couple hundred super bad. Mike. So if you're just making a joke for exaggeration, then I get it. But I
900
think
years old.
Yoda was
according
900
to
years,
StarWars.com.
and that was like his like passing. So
Yeah, because he makes that comment to Luke, when you look 900 years,
Yeah.
old you look.
yeah. And I can't remember because Taylor, I think, had Grogu's age in the Star Wars trivia we actually did for the Extra Life this year, and I got that wrong because I was like 200 something, and I was like, no,
I think
it's
it
not
went to
that.
me, and I
Yeah,
got that right.
Yeah. So
Rangers Alliance.
how did you get that right?
He's 50 years old right now.
He's 50 years old. So yeah, like again, I don't know what he is doing moving around, but I think that Superman, Mike, you will get at some point, whether it's like with Mando dead or whatever it may be, not even time travel. I just think they will age Grogu up, even if that's 5 years from now. They will do it just to keep that character around. So, anything else on this topic, gentlemen? To add for Grogu, Favreau, Feige? 2 Fs, not 3.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
1,000 years old.
The 1,000-year-old. Though that's bad. That's all right. Super bad, Mike. Like I said, I thought he was 200 at this age. So you never know with these creatures, you know. Another thing you don't know about is what Ezra Miller is going to be up to. Now, this is going to be interesting because Chris hasn't been on, I think, DC Alliance in a while, so I haven't heard.
No.
I know your thoughts, but I don't think the people have heard
You
your
know my
thoughts.
thoughts.
Yeah, I know some of your thoughts, but people haven't heard your thoughts. But obviously, so it's like and Kirklin, I'm happy is here because I feel like every time we've done a big deep dive on Ezra, it was always me and Taylor's week and stuff like that. So obviously, like there was lots of issues recently and things like that, and it's kind of been a whirlwind of a week where. So let's start with the issues that happened in the past. Yeah, okay, he's been arrested a few times. He's had some problems. Be like, hey, what's going on? What are they up to in Hawaii? Is it a good situation, bad situation? Who knows? And this is where I will say, as somebody like I'm not an Ezra Miller fan, and I still look at these arrests and I go, this is kind of questionable. There has been reports of lots of these bars. Lots of bars. Their pronouns are they. Sorry, I gotta get used to that. Lots of the bars that they have been going into are not kind to people that are in the LGBTQ plus community and stuff like that. So there's kind of been this idea of, is Ezra kind of egging it on in a way of kind of like, hey, fuck you people, like you should be fine with me and stuff like that, which we'll get into the NFT stuff because to me, I'm kind of, at first, like the rest, you're like, oh, that is kind of iffy. And you hear this thing of like, they might be messing around with people. You go, okay, that's not what I would be doing. I wouldn't be courting trouble. But again, that's not my life. That's not my situation. But then when TMZ posts this video of them saying that they are being arrested this was the quote from Ezra. I got assaulted and I started filming. Let me show you the video. I got assaulted in this bar twice in a row. I film myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. So here's the thing. Ezra Miller, at least for me, they might not be a criminal, which is good. They might just be a little douchey. And by a little, I mean a lot douchey. Because and this is the whole thing, like NFT things. I've not touched it. I don't want anything. It's like the whole crypto thing that's crashing right now. I go, yeah, that's all on you guys. But this, I don't know. And if that is
You didn't think that was going to happen? You didn't think there was
No.
a risk?
I've heard it so many times. I did not do anything. And maybe there's something to it. People are artsy, but for Ezra if he's innocent of all these crimes, which he also like threatened a woman, allegedly threw a chair at a woman, allegedly, all these things, if he is innocent, and it's just like a series of unfortunate events that Ezra keeps getting himself into, but his result is, because I remember before I throw it to my YouTube, there's 2 things that came out earlier this week. There was the recasting, which we'll talk about in a second, and then there was this account called Flash Movie Team News or something, but they've kind of had the insight, and they're like, we've talked to Ezra's team, so let's hope they have. But they said that these reports of the recasting are false. They've met with Warner Brothers, they're having a meeting, and they're working it out, and when you hear his side of the story, people are going to change their opinion. And then Grace Randolph kind of said a similar thing about when you hear Ezra's side of the story, it's going to be a little bit different. They're going through some things. Now, if that side of the story, like I said, is they are doing this for NFT art. Now, again, he's not a, I guess, terrible person, but it's just really lame. It's just like an eye rolly of just, really, this is the, oh, just wait. You know, this NFT, this is the reason he's doing it. You feel better now? And I go, no, I just feel kind of, I don't know.
No, I keep scratching my head as when you're going to pop out and say, gotcha.
Yeah, like it's definitely the lesser of 2 evils, but it's just the fact of why? Like, why is this a thing? But yeah, what happened was this week, a site called Screen Geek, which is, they did get a scoop right, I think, about Black Bolt, but they literally just ripped off Screen Rant's like logo and look.
It's basically
and
a middle finger to them. Every
Oh,
time
yeah.
they put it out, like every time they try to put it out, it's like people say, "Oh, they put it out there." No, you're thinking of you're thinking of the wrong site. It's not
Oh, yeah.
Screen Rant.
And they did that on purpose, but they had put out a
Yeah.
report that said, yeah, Dylan O'Brien was going to be recast as Flash, but then some people put out that no, that's not happening. So, Kirklin, I want to get your thoughts on, because you've talked about a little bit, your thoughts on this whole Ezra Miller situation where we've gone through, lots of arrests. He's terrorizing Hawaii, right? To, okay, it might be a questionable situation. There might be some people that pissed him off. Like even the TMZ article, they had said that they were removed from the bar because they were not welcome there. So you kind of go, okay, maybe there's a sense. But then you also got this stuff where he's literally, I will get used to it. I'm not trying to offend people. It's just and maybe that's why I keep just saying Ezra. But Ezra's literally saying, I'm doing this for NFT art. Like, this is the reason I'm doing this. Now, that could be complete bullshit, and that's just the reason he is. And I almost kind of hope that it is bullshit, because I just don't want. I don't know. Just someone being like,
it sounds so ridiculous.
It sounds like the douchey rich villain in a movie that's like so over the top. Like, oh, I'm doing this for NFT art, but. Where are you on the Ezra Miller of this all? And that was at least the latest thing reported by some people that, Ezra's met with Warner Brothers and they're going to maybe try to smooth things over, work it out, maybe do a good press tour before Flash and stuff.
I hope Warner Brothers met with him at this point. Gosh. It's just been chaos. I feel like it's been one of those things where after the first instance, it's like, oh my gosh, that's wild that happened. But then some time passed and just went on with my life and then kind of forgot about it. And then these last instances have just it's been like a good handful and like pretty close timing between like them all. Like all of this is within a year, right? When he initially.
Oh yeah, this is within a couple months now. All the Hawaii stuff,
Yeah. It's like, fuck, somebody's got to get them out of Hawaii.
100%. That's what needs to happen.
Tearing up the streets.
They just need to land, pick Ezra up, and go. Like, that's what they need
Back
to do.
to Warner Brothers, just lock them up or something.
Yeah, you got a movie coming out with Michael Keaton after Flash. Go to Hawaii, but
go wherever. But yeah, when we're explaining the details of just what they're saying of like for NFT art, it's if that is
you want that quote
reason,
again? I film myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art.
It
just
every time I hear that, it's just like no. Stop.
It doesn't sound true.
I've never heard that sentence in my
no,
life.
No.
Oh god.
It's one of those things where like, okay, if that is the real reason, which I don't really believe, but if it is, like, I just feel like Ezra's the type of individual just be one to like provoke and like want to get like
100%
reactions out of people. Like what else are you doing for saying like I only get my NFT art when I get assaulted? So how am I supposed to get assaulted if I'm just nice to everybody and just go about my day? Like,
I want to see this story about Ezra Miller on Hawaii, the movie, more than I want to see Flash. And I'm saying this in all in a joking
100%.
manner. Of course, if they need help, I want them to get help. It's such a left curve, but like all this stuff too of like him like saying, oh, I'm gonna burn your expletive wife and all these things. Like, this is the most left field one of I'm doing this for NFTs, and it's just strange. And I also was just strange by my timeline being like, see, look, he's doing it for NFT, and it was like, what do you mean? Look, like, it's like, why are we still saying? And again, if these people are, and this is different where Hawaii, maybe this part of that city is, they are very, transphobe, racial problems.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like, that's not good. That's not what I want. Like, especially, I wouldn't want that for Ezra or anyone down there. So I could understand him maybe being down there for a vacation. He goes to this location or multiple locations, and all these people just tell him to go away. Ezra definitely strikes me as a guy who's like, yeah, F you, I'm going to do something about it. And that's what I don't want. So I get that point of view. That's where it almost feels weird of, I'd almost want the story still more to be, okay, he's messing with these people. But now when we take this this crypto art U-turn, I'm like, what is and again, it's just always what is going on there? Like, what is happening there? That is just, it's such a wild thing, and I really don't know. Chris, can you make sense of this all?
Well, one, I've I haven't said it on air, like, if he truly needs help, if he truly needs therapy, please, excuse me, not he, they, if
Yeah.
they need therapy, then seek it out. It's outsider looking in at this point. I don't understand. It almost reminds me of what is it? Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that year when he pretended to be like a different
Yeah,
guy and everything
gonna
like
be a
that.
different
Yeah.
guy. At that point, it was all for a movie about like his
Country rap singer.
country rap singer at that point. And Ezra strikes me as someone that, to your point, this could just be a social experiment of just screwing with people, but it's just his demeanor and dynamic. I mean, I remember when he posted about, basically slamming a particular particular thing of the Ku Klux Klan for
Yeah.
for particular reason, which again, sorry, the Ku Klux Klan can go other places at that point, and he's right for slamming out that, but it's just like, we don't me not being him in the sense of like what his mannerisms are, what I don't consider to be normal behavior. I don't know what is going on in the sense of like, maybe this is who he is. This is what, like you said, like if he feels like he's not being welcomed in these bars he's going to because they're not necessarily down with LGBTQ people going into the bars, then whatever Ezra wants to do at that point, whether we're right or wrong, the whole thing of like even him being they being replaced about the Flash. I mean, I just like, get the heck out of here. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
it's like the movie's locked. They're not replacing him. Okay, maybe after at that point, but this whole I'm with you. I want to hear Ezra's story. Because I think that's all we're waiting on at this point. Because every week, I even put it in our GUA chat. Like,
There's
when
a huge podcast coming at some point.
when
somebody
when they finally speak about what's going on, and it's just, I don't know. Every time there's a new Ezra story, I put it in our GUH. I was like, "Oh boy, here we go again." It's like it's like the weekly joke at this point, where it's just like, "What's coming up next for the Ezra story?" So like, it's the story we keep glued to the set, but it just becomes, when they are ready to speak out, when they are ready to talk at that point. I'm just tired of hearing both sides. I just want to hear what Ezra has to say when they are ready.
Oh yeah, and that's thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I'm just kind of eye rolling at this point. If Ezra is seeking help, if that is what this is, then yes, for your own health, for real, like, let's be respectful at that point when Ezra is ready to speak out. It just strikes me as so bizarre that we jump to mental health issues because it doesn't fit into our nice little box. But we don't know what Ezra's life is day to day of what he's what they are going through with what they have to deal with being, non-binary. So, and just, they may just be eccentric personality, and it's just, okay, they don't really need to seek any kind of mental help. It's just who Ezra is. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you and I have talked about before with like the replacing. I don't think it's gonna. I think still, no matter what, now there is a story. There is a version of the story where them and Warner Brothers, they get together, and Ezra, they're like, okay, you're gonna go on this big tour, you're gonna do a big interview, and you're gonna talk about stuff, and you can spin it. And I still feel Warner Brothers could spin it in a way where it is a comeback story. It is like a, hey, look, Ezra's back, or this was his point of view. And the good thing is and this is where I think we stood, where we were talking about this with Katie, where nothing I think will happen to this movie in particular, because one, it's just everyone brings up lots of examples of replacements, but it's just like, this is the bit, like, Ezra's the Flash, like they are one of the biggest characters. They're in the movie with Michael Keaton, so it's very hard to do. And also, he's the main character, also playing two versions of himself in this movie. So it's not just Ezra; it's Ezra and whoever probably reverse Flash is. So that's the thing where I still think, even though with a good tour, I think after this movie, I actually could see them still. even with a good tour, and let's say the movie is a mega hit, I could still see them parting ways and just saying, hey, we want to go a different route, or just not doing a Flash thing for a very long time. Because the good thing is with DC, they own all their characters and they have a plentiful of them. It's not like they're lacking characters or other Flashes, like they have lots of people they could do it. So I think for me, like the only thing, like we said before, is if something really bad happens where it reaches the GA, because I guarantee you, most of our audience, we talk about this, and that's the thing I'm with Chris, where I am tired in the sense that we talk about this on this cast. We bring it up because people ask this question. We got a question from Maddie about who, if we did ever cast for fun, who would we pick? But that's the thing where like it gets brought up. But for me, I don't just get in the discourse at all as far as online. I'll put my opinion out there, but there's some people that are just so hard in going after him like he's the devil.
Yeah.
And then there's the other people that are so hard that defending him like no matter what he does, it's justified. And that's where it's like, okay, there's no really middle ground. And you'll never get a full story. And the good thing is, like, most GA won't hear about this, and probably most general audiences still don't really know who Ezra Miller is. They know him, like, if you say, oh, he's the guy from Fantastic Beasts, or he plays the Flash in Justice League, or they play the Flash in Justice League, but they're still not like a household name, where the only reason he's household right now is because he is the main star of an upcoming huge DC movie, right? So it's interesting, but I don't see a replacement unless something were to really, like I said, if one of these Hawaii incidents happened and he, even if it was accidentally, murdered somebody, then then Warner Brothers would sit down and go, okay, we gotta, like, what do we do now? Then that's really the stage of, okay, how do we change this around?
But here's the thing: this can go down two routes with press tour. All right, they can go with a simple canned statement saying, okay, was going through a bad time in my life. I've sought help. I'm better now. Let's move on. Or you can take I'm going to do one interview and I'm going to let them ask every single question, get it all out there. One interview. I
Barbara
guarantee
Walters
you.
or Oprah.
Just do any, like, a no holds bar, in the sense of, like, you get someone, you put it all out there. That way it's done, it's out there, it's credible, and the rest of the press tour is done, because then you just direct them to the interview. We've already talked about it. Here we go. We're talking about that. Like, if you don't do something of that nature, it's just going to constantly do, and then everyone's going to be like, well, what happened? And to be perfectly frank, I'm sorry, but it's none of our business. It really, when it comes down to it, it's his life. We want the best. We want the best for Ezra, but they could basically say, like, I'm not talking. It's my life, and we may want the gossip at that point. We got to respect what is going on. But again, if it needs help, seek. Hopefully, they are seeking that attention. But if it's not and it's a game, then guess what? We're all having a fun ride, and we'll see what those NFTs are all about.
Oh, there's gonna be some huge NFTs come next.
I mean, you look at what Madonna's doing with NFTs. I don't know. He's got some.
It's ridiculous, the NFTs. Kirklin, you got any more on this specifically to say?
No, I don't think so.
Well, answer Maddie's question then. So let's say the worst happens. Let's say something bad really does happen. And Chris, so Maddie's question, if you want to answer, he said, if you did have to pick someone to replace him, who would it be? And this could even be in the future, because like I said, I feel the choice would be that there's other characters that have been the Flash before. They would just do that instead of saying, oh, look, this is the new Barry Allen. I think they would go different. But let's say they did have to recast or just pick someone. Kirklin, do you have an actor in mind that you'd like to see play the Flash in the future?
Absolutely, I do. Thanks for asking. Such a fabulous question. I had one that popped in my head like immediately. Mr. Vigilante from Peacemaker. I know it's like same universe, technically DC. Freddie Stroma. I don't know why. He just totally
threw me
like
off by
Flash.
calling him Mr. Vigilante. So at first I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? But okay, fair
No,
enough.
Freddie Stroma. I don't know what it is. He's just got
Yeah?
a good face to play Barry. And yeah, that was the first one I had. When I was doing some Googling, I saw like the name Lucas Till come up. I feel like I could kind of see him in the role. Haven't really seen him in anything for a while. Haven't seen Travis in a while either.
I'm
so.
still here. I'm just, for not to get us banned on YouTube, I'm changing my shirt out of a swear because it's really hot, but you can't, I don't want to show any nips,
Thanks for hiding the nips.
That's for Patreon.
I would have had to edit that out.
I thought that's how you definitely do the Manscaped ads. You know.
Yeah, they let us. They should let us show the pubic area, not the nips.
Another one that I had too. I don't think it would happen, but I just want to see him in things. Is I'm pretty sure he's on your comic book draft, Travis. Is Dacre Montgomery?
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
you know,
it's funny getting reactions when I can't see you.
Yeah, no, I still want to know if his name's Dacre or Darcy or what the hell it is. But
I think it's Dacre.
yeah, that'd be
We
good.
gotta
Even though
look
I
up the
still
thing.
kind of want him for Human Torch. That's who I want. I know Zac Efron
Yeah,
has a
that'd be
movie coming
better.
out this weekend, but I know that's what he's wanting. But yeah, did you guys even know Zac Efron has a movie coming out this weekend?
What's it called?
Firestarter.
Okay, I've seen ads.
It's a remake of a Stephen King book / movie. So
I think I know what you're talking about.
It
The
sounded
really
little-
wild.
the little girl.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty bad. He has a movie coming out right now, and you guys had to genuinely think like, what movie? What movie is this? Like Zac Efron. You need a better agent. You need somebody.
He
Come
wants
on.
to get in the MCU. Remember that.
He does. He does. So, yeah, my pick for a replacement was now he's not. I don't think I feel like a lot of times the Flash, you're trying to go for someone that has like a model look, like Ezra had that, or something really striking. Now the guy I pick, I feel like people might think he's boring, but I'd pick Lucas Hedges. Lucas Hedges, I really like. He's from Lady Bird. He's from I can't remember the name of the movie. He did it. There's a movie Joel Edgerton directed about conversion camps. It was really good, really dramatic. But Lucas Hedges has just been in a bunch of stuff, and I've always really, really liked him. He has like a great vibe as far as he can be a comedic lead, he can be a dramatic lead, he can play like the really sad drama really well, he could be like a romantic lead, so he kind of has everything I would want. So maybe you could like have him be a Wally in the future. He got that nice ginger hair and stuff, but yeah,
Boy
that
Erased. That's that movie.
Boy Race, thank you. Yeah, really good. Joel Edgerton, again, between that and The Gift, does not get talked about enough as like a really great director. And I should look up, I don't know if he's doing more, but Uncle Owen has the chops behind the camera. So, but Lucas Hedges, that would be my pick. And I just want to see him in general and somewhere in these comic movies. But yeah, that would be mine if they came to me and said, hey, we're going to do a new Flash. We want a new actor. This is we need somebody. Who is it going to be? And boom. And I guess I would want my Flash to be a bit more of like a smart ass. I think Ezra's Flash has a little bit, but I feel like he's just a different type of comedic. I don't
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward. Yeah. Where I do like the Barry that is just kind of annoying. People like, yeah, like I love Injustice League animated show, like almost that entire run. Like, of course Barry's part of the team, but he always just felt like, man, we really got to put up with Barry, you know? So back in Fan McCoy, back in 2013, I had fan casted Gosling as Barry Allen. That's not bad in 2013. Now, definitely not. I don't see Gosling like running around. But yeah, before he had done anything like really, really big, yeah, I could see it. I think I still see him more as like a Lantern, Hal Jordan type, but I could see I remember when Ryan Reynolds before Deadpool was the popular Flash pick too. And the one we missed out that I actually think was the perfect casting for Flash was Adam Brody. I think we 100% missed out. Yeah, the fact that he was cast in Justice League Immortal, and yeah, that to me is, you watch the OC, I'm not even a big fan. Man, he would have been perfect. I wanted to live in that multiverse where he was the Flash.
Yeah.
I thinking about that. What about Josh Hutcherson from Hunger
Josh
Games?
Hutcherson, yeah, he could pull it off. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I feel like I've not seen him in ages. I don't know what he's up to now. You know, like last time I saw him,
It's pretty cool.
he's waiting for Hunger Games prequel. He gave me a small child on that prequel. You know,
He'll play an old man. Different character.
he'll play the Flash in that. And he's like, this guy has a clear advantage. He's
Gotta go
fast.
faster, Barry.
Yeah. But yeah, Batty, thank you for sending that question. You can always do that on Patreon, sending questions for this and any topic. But you guys got anything else to add on the Ezra Flash stuff?
Oh, maybe we'll make it next week and we won't have any news.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, just a quiet week for Ezra. That'd be a good thing for all around. So let's take our next ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. So now, Chris, I don't know if you've watched any of these trailers. This is where you might be bowing out.
Yeah, I'll probably bow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably bow out then.
Yeah. You don't want to stick around for the Weird Al conversation?
I mean, I've seen. That's the only trailer I have seen.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us that. Are you excited for Weird Al?
I was when I heard about it at that point, and then I said Danny Radcliffe, I said, all right, I need to see this. I need to kind of see him because the set photos, he just looks ridiculous. But Weird Al's a ridiculous looking guy anyways at that point.
Yeah.
But the trailer, just how it said, like, I think they marketed that in the sense of like how many platinum albums, sold out shows, and one accordion. I was like, yep. I just wonder it's going to be, because it reminds me a lot of, have either of you seen Rocket Man?
Yeah, I saw it once with Elton John. Yeah, hidden reality kind of.
Yeah, it's his life, but it's kind of like homaging to with the songs and things like that. Like it's just like his life based on his truth. You know.
Well, because there's that one moment at the end of the trailer where it's like, we're gonna need accordion, and like 6 accordions like raise up on him. You could be right, because even at one point he's like getting in a fight in a restaurant. I'm just like, I don't picture that in the Weird Al thing. So yeah, if it's like a fantastical, some moments are in his head or not completely realistic, but it is for like theatrical reasons. You could be onto something, because I didn't think about the whole trailer, but then when I saw the accordion shot, that's when I went back and like, okay, maybe and that would almost fit with a Weird Al movie, you know, like
very absurdist.
Yeah, could. I don't think anyone's gonna watch that, and if they start doing some really fantastical stuff, like, man, they're really approaching on the Weird Al story, you know. Like I don't think you're gonna get that. I don't think people are gonna get mad that they got like weird with the movie that's called. I didn't even know it was called Weird. It's called Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I thought it was Weird Al, but it's just called Weird. And I also didn't know this was a Roku movie. I had no idea.
I know, yeah, that threw me off.
I just thought it was a movie from some studio, and I guess so the Roku stick or streaming box is now doing movies, and I hope that's it. Like I hope they become like a Neon or A24 where they start making some movies like, oh yeah, Roku. But like I just saw it and I was like, that's not what I was expecting. So like to me, I could be expecting like Roku to make like straight to DVD stuff. So I don't know what to expect from Roku producing this. But
yeah, I don't think I've seen a Roku project up until now.
Yeah, I don't
Roku
know.
original.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to. It is a cool name. I'll have to look it up and see if they've done anything else or anything like that. But yeah, Chris, let everyone know where they can find you. Obviously, you host Marvel Alliance every week. You got World Finance, but let the people know if this is your first time listening.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Balga. Again, you can follow both shows, World's Finest True Believers at Finest Believers, and Marvel Alliance at Marvel A Podcast.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for letting me crash, even though I did not go
fun.
by the name Crashing.
Oh no, that's that's all right. Anytime, the door's always open, sir. So
all right, y'all have a good night.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, he's finally gone. My God, you know.
Now we can start the episode.
I come back.
No, he's
like
still down there. Yeah.
Like a bad penny, I always turn up.
There you go. But yeah. So, give your thoughts on the trailer, because I want to look at Roku Originals and see if there's anything more. I guarantee you they've done like some little like streaming series or something. But
I feel like, I guess I could ask you, like, were you like watching the Weird Al music videos and like hearing the songs, or is it just one of those things it's like impossible not to, just because like our generation was just like always all about those songs?
Oh,
I never like had like an album or something I listened to of it, but it's just like they were just on everywhere. Like everybody knew those songs.
Okay, so for addendum, quickly, did you ever hear of the app called Quibi? There you go.
I think the name.
So it was an app that had a bunch of stars, but it was like doing short form content. So they'd be releasing a season of a show would be like 8 episodes, but all those episodes were like 5 minutes or something like that. Like the most popular one was one Roku, I guess, got. It's called Dummy, and it's with Anna Kendrick. An aspiring writer befriends her boyfriend's sex doll, and the two take the world together. So I think they've just done like lots of lame kind of stuff like that. I won't say lame, I guess, but I guess I don't know, like
a lot of lame projects from these guys.
Here, like I'm gonna get back to Weird Al thing, but here's the thing. Roku Original, Punked is back, and no one's safe. Like that's when I heard Roku Original, everything I'm reading right now, that's exactly what I was expecting Roku Original to be, you know. And that's where it's just like Punked, it's something from Quibi, Reno 911, the revival is on there, Singled Out, Shape of Pasta. Like what the fuck is Shape of Pasta?
Shape of Water.
Yeah, huge. Anything's the shape of, shape of a big hit. Not so much. So for Weird Al, I was talking about Taylor before, where I feel like other than White and Nerdy, I've seen a few other ones here and there. White and Nerdy, I feel like when that came out, that was massive. Yeah. And then Of course, there were some Star Wars ones. That's the first time I ever heard Weird Al. Was my dad put in this CD, and it was Weird Al doing all like the Star Wars songs. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, young age, and like I liked it. I never like, and that's where I describe Weird Al. Where there's something where okay, Jack Black, everyone knows like my kind of not disdain for Jack Black, but I just rolled my eyes that most time he's just playing himself and I'm bored by him, right? But I always get why people like him. But when anytime Jack Black's in a project, I'm like, oh, Jack Black. I feel like I'm similar to that with Weird Al, but without the Weird Al. I'm like, I like his stuff. I don't dislike it, but I've never seeked it out. Like if it would be like my dad putting a CD, or if I'm hanging out at a friend's house and it comes up, that's great. But I've never really gone on my way to dive deep into Weird Al stuff. I guess the other one would say I would say that I've seen the most is White and Nerdy, and definitely I'm Fat, like the spin off of the spin on the Michael Jackson I'm Bad
yeah.
song. Yeah, so like I've definitely seen him. He pops up in my life. I feel like he's popped up in more like interviews or as a character, like a cameo in a movie, than me searching his music. So I've seen a few of them. I think probably before this movie I would find a playlist and watch a couple just to get affiliated with some more. But also I just feel like maybe eventually I'd go, you know what? Like I get it. I know what you're doing, and it's not bad. But I don't know if it's not for me, because I find this stuff sometimes funny. It's just not something. He's not someone I've seeked out ever. You know, he pops up, but I'm not seeking it out. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, like in elementary school or whatever, like that's when like White and Nerdy and those songs were coming out, and like I was saying, like just all the kids like just hear it, and then they kind of just pass it around there, and then like I remember a good period of time. I think it was when I like first discovered them. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was like watching all the videos, and I don't think I like download them or anything, but YouTube, just going on there watching them, and yeah, I was like. Now I feel like I've kind of just like grown out of it, where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I recognize the songs, as you were saying, like I know what he's doing, like definitely recognize the talent to like be able to like formulate the lyrics and like go with like do his own covers of everything. Really awesome, you know, appreciate him. I think it's awesome that he's getting this movie, because I don't think like, is he still performing and like making new music?
I think so. Yeah, I
Oh,
feel like
yeah?
he just
Okay.
I feel like there was some song. I don't think I'm right, but I feel like it was like Shallow, like Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. I feel like there was some
Oh.
song recently that was a big hit that he was trying to do or something like that. So
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's like I didn't even know that he was still making things, so maybe
he
he's
could be
just not
dead
as-
and you wouldn't even
as-
know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is like in memoriam film for Weird Al. He shows up at the red carpet. It's like, what the hell? No, but yeah, so I think at this stage of my life, it's just I'm like done it. Like I don't even like go back and listen to his old songs that were hits, and obviously
Yeah.
I'm checking out his new stuff. But this movie, it still kind of got me excited. I think it'll be interesting, because they'll definitely go over like those classic songs. I'm sure we'll be hearing those, and just to get the nostalgia again. And I think the fact that it's Daniel Radcliffe just lifts it up so much more for me too. I obviously love him as Harry Potter, but I really like just seeing him in all these other projects he's doing now, like his post Harry Potter career, Swiss Army Man. I really liked him in like Lady in Black too. He was just like a more serious role, but still he was really good in that. Guns Akimbo. Yeah, that's him, right?
Yeah, it is
Guns
him.
Akimbo?
Yes,
Yeah.
Akimbo, yeah. Kill Your
Um,
Darlings. It's another one I like.
Like that Horns movie too that Taylor
Yep.
was talking about. I haven't seen it, but I just saw the look. It's just like, man, I love that he's just being free. Like, you know, it's not like I gotta make my career with one big hit. Like, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
had the
now. He's
big
got
hit.
He's
He
got
had
the
8
Potter
big hits.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I like that he's been able to. I feel like a lot of times with child actors, they just get seen as that character, but now like I can actually see Daniel Radcliffe as himself, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm really excited to see him just go ham as Weird Al. So yeah, I'm excited for this, honestly. And it's saying something for me, not being like a big Weird Al
A fella,
Weird-
big Weird Al fella.
Al fellow, big Weird Al fan.
My wee
Oh,
lad Gimli.
ooh, yeah.
But
Ooh.
yeah, no, I'm the same. Where they were very smart with putting Daniel Radcliffe in there, because this sounds like a disrespect for him, but he feels like kind of a meme actor in the best way, though, in a way where it's like you just want to see Daniel Radcliffe, aka yeah, sometimes Harry Potter, put in these weird situations, right? And that's what he's doing. Wakes up with a guy with like hands for guns. Wakes up as like
AKA Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You can't even call him his real name. Look at that disrespect.
I said Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter, but I think like that's kind of the gimmick, is seeing him in these weird things. Elijah Wood has done this too, not to the same degree, but or I'd say like to a lesser degree, but he's tried this as well, and I like some of the films he's producing over there with his company. But or even Swiss Army Man, where he's gonna play a dead corpse the whole time, where it's just like, man, this is batshit crazy, but I love that he's doing it. And same thing, it's not like a crazy stretch of the character. Me and Emily this week, because it's on Paramount Plus, we watched The Lost City, which was enjoyable. I had a good enough time. I think it's like a solid like 6.56 out of 10, like a good like kind of fun rom-com. But again, he's just playing like this like Weasley like rich billionaire guy, and anytime I see him, it's like, man, I just love Daniel Radcliffe doing this stuff, you know, and because he's a good actor, he is entertaining. I think he's done a good job. I think him and Pattinson have done a good job of where they were in those early 2000s to now. You know, one's Batman and one's just this guy who's known as a good actor doing weird shit. That's not a bad gig. Now, I will say he's not gone enough to the point where I'm with Taylor, where Taylor wants to be fucking Wolverine. I do not need Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. And it's so funny because I remember when me and Taylor talked about that at one point, Daniel Radcliffe had even in an interview said, yeah, I'd be more like a Spider-Man type. I don't think I'd really do Wolverine. It's not a fit. And then last few months he's like, yeah, Marvel, give me a call. And it's just like, man, how much changes in like 10 years when people see like what you could do with it. But yeah, don't want that. So I think this trailer was, Chris shut out like good about the idea of like some fantastical stuff going on. I think it was basic, but it didn't need to be anything more than the basicness. Like I wasn't looking at this to blow me away. It just looked like, okay, it's Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al. It looks like it's going to be a silly kind of tongue-in-cheek type of movie. I'm kind of in. Like, I will watch this, especially with Roku. I imagine it'll just be like streaming day one, so I'm sure it'll be easy to find because I don't know. In Canada, I think we have Roku's, but either way, I'm sure some Crave or something will have it. So yeah, I'll be checking this out. I'm at least curious, and all I'm expecting is a good time. I'm expecting like I got with Lost City, like a 6.5 out of 10. Anything more than that is peaches. But I'm expecting for just to be there for Daniel Radcliffe. And that's the thing, though. If it wasn't Daniel Radcliffe, I actually might not be on my radar because I don't really care that much about Weird Al. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. It's nice that it's streaming, and I was gonna ask that like the Roku like. That's like a streaming box. Do you pay a subscription for it as well, or is it just if you have Roku? Like if you purchase it one time, you have, or do you not know?
Well, I don't know 100%, but when I looked on it, like those originals, it looked like they were all free. I just think you had to download a Roku app or something like that to give it a hit. So I'm sure there's advertising. So I think it is like a separate app or something like that. But I don't think it's a pay system.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Be checking out. Yeah, it'll be nice to get some nostalgia, diving back into some Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. They also do Roku TVs. Really? That's Fanboy Clay. They do Roku TVs, eh? Yeah, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, no. But what I did hear about is a trailer today for Resident Evil. Resident Evil, the series, coming to Netflix July 14th. So obviously you're probably gonna hear our thoughts and go like, oh, you kind of spoiled it, but there's enough interest for us to be like, well, we might review it, stuff like that. We don't know where we're gonna be yet because that's actually the week, and there's no big reviews, but it's the week of our 7-year anniversary. But we'll probably be as usual recording that beforehand. So I'm not saying we're gonna review it. There might be a cutout impressions, and I guess I'll go first because I'm talking. I really loved this trailer. Now, am I expecting this to be like, man, this is gonna be the best TV show on Netflix? No, but I just mean, it blew me away. One, we'll have to see the show because they could be showing off the best shots, but budgetary-wise, this looked fucking big. Like, huge big. Now, of course, there's some shots where it's like, yeah, she's on a bridge in London and it's just a bunch of CGI stuff around her, but there was one shot where there's like a bunch of the zombies or a bunch of like riots going on. And it looked really clear, really good. And as I've said, I will be a broken record till the day I die. That majority, not all, but majority of video games should be TV shows. And I think Resident Evil is a perfect one for that because there's a whole bunch, and I don't even know if they're adapting all, but there's a whole bunch of characters. There's many games that introduce likable characters. There's many iterations of it. So I just feel that this is perfect. And them just showing what I like is there's that moment where I'd say this trailer's like a minute 15. It's more just a teaser, but the first part is showing some characters and obviously showing there's some sort of virus that's going to happen, right? And what I liked is they have this character who's in this lab, and then it kind of like flashes and it shows her on London in the aftermath. And I was thinking that the whole time, like, okay, is this show going to primarily just be an origin? Is it just going to be in the lab and we might eventually get to that stuff? What's going on? And maybe it will be that majority, but I do like that. I think we'll probably start off maybe in present day of like things have gone to shit, but maybe flashbacks, kind of some of what we got with Boba Fett, but Boba Fett like something more interesting where we're in this post-apocalyptic world, but we're going to flashback to how we got there. The trailer could just be editing in a fun way, but I just thought the fact that they had that scene where the girl's sleeping and she wakes up, and when she wakes up it like literally transitions into a scene of her post-apocalyptic. To me that show like there's like a connection between the past and the present, so I feel that's them maybe telling the stories at the same time. But it looked like it had some fan service. Like it looked like it was doing its own thing, but also fan service where you got name drops, you got like virus drops, you got the dogs at the end. So I don't know. This is just looking like almost everything I wanted it to be in a sense. Like there is part of me that I really hope, like you didn't finish it, but Resident Evil 7, I want them one day to adapt that as a movie. Because see, there's a perfect example. That's a movie right there. That's a 2-hour movie because it's a smaller contained story of like this family, some fucked up shit, some really fucked up shit. But like Resident Evil, the lore, this whole world, I think a TV series is warranted of that. And I will watch that movie that came out last year. I just didn't hear, like we talked about today with Taylor, I didn't hear great things about it, and I was pulling for it. But I'm pulling for this. It looks good, so I'm hoping the series is interesting.
Yeah, I'm pulling for this one as well. I was very surprised about the trailer. I thought all of like the CGI stuff and the action sequences and just the creepiness, like it felt like a Resident Evil like full feature film budgetary wise. Like it didn't look bad at all. It was mostly night for those shots, but still it looked really good with the zombies that they're showing off. So that really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
I think like right away I was super pumped on like the lab stuff. It starts like 2022, New Raccoon City, and then the jump is like I think London 2036.
Yeah.
And
a lot of ground to cover.
That is a lot of ground to cover, and I don't want to say like it worried me or anything like that, but it just, I feel like it kind of made me think about, I mean, it's good, it's making me think about what's going to happen, but also just like how they're going to tackle these two time frames, because in this first trailer they've made a point of showing both time periods and like quite a lot of footage, and like it seemed like there was like, I don't know if there's different actors in like different time periods, but like at least some actors in both. So like I don't think that the lab scene's going to be like 2 minutes or anything like that. Like I agree with what you're saying, where it seems like they'll have some connection to the point where maybe they're jumping back and forth. I don't think it'll be like as linear as like it starts and we're just in 2022 and then at some point it just jumps to 2036. I think there will be back and forth, and there's got to be some story reason why we have this jump and what it means. But I think initially I was just like, oh, this is cool. We're just in New Raccoon City in the lab, and I would have been completely down for like a whole series about that. But then it took that turn, and it's like, this is an entirely different thing that I'm also entirely for. So pretty much like all thumbs up for my initial reactions. And yeah, like I'm just blown away on how good it looks. So
yeah,
Netflix is pulling it out of the bag.
Pulling it out.
Pulling something out.
Yeah. Let's take our last ad break here. We got one more trailer and then just a few little casting news to talk about. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So our last show we're going to talk about is House of the Dragon. This is that Game of Thrones spinoff. So I will say that right now, Taylor has said that he's planning on doing this at least for solo reviews. Kirklin said he may join him. We're not holding Kirklin that because that's also Lord of the Rings time, and Kirklin could be kind of busy around that point. But at least you can look out that Taylor, like he did with Chucky, will likely be doing solo reviews for these. And you might be asking, oh, why? What about you, Travis? That's where I'll go. So Game of Thrones, definitely at one point, maybe you could still argue top 10 greatest of all time TV show. I think you probably kind of could still get it in there. Maybe I think I would probably bump it because, alas, I am in that group of people that last season did really just add was such a thought. It was such an anchor to such a good show, and it did really. I remember I always say this when Liam saw Last Jedi. He's like, "That's it. My Star Wars love is dead. I don't want to see anything more." I'm like, "How? Like it's just one movie." He's like, I can't do it." That's how I kind of thought about with Game of Thrones. After that it wasn't like Star Wars because Star Wars means a lot more to me. But I was like, really, really did not like how fast we got to this ending. Really, what we did with this ending, how it was written. Again, there's some things that hey I might not like on the surface, but okay, let's write it. Let's get there, see how we do it. And I thought they did all that wrong, or poorly, I'll say, not wrong. And for me, it just kind of was like, you know what, and at this point, they had already said that they were doing at least a couple spinoffs. So I remember that show end. I was like, you know what, I'm good with Game of Thrones. I'm done with Game of Thrones. I don't need anything more. I'm not a book reader. I'm just of this series. I'm fine. So for me, it might just be like it's a little too late for me. There's so much. It's also because we live in a world where there's so much good content, right? And I go, do I really want to jump back in Game of Thrones, which disappointed me? And it's a prequel. Literally, this trailer's smart. It's name dropping a lot of people. It's name dropping a lot of people that fans are probably creaming their jeans over. But at the same time, I know the stories of all these people. I don't know the specifics, sure, but I don't know. I know where we're going. I know, and now especially, I don't like where we're going. You know, like I know the ending, and the ending to me is not great. So the only thing that's holding me is there's a really good cast here. One, of course, with Matt Smith. Matt Smith, I love Matt Smith. I've never seen Doctor Who, but Matt Smith is this guy who always gets put in these like meh projects other than a few ones. I'm always waiting for him to break up more. I think this is a great showcase for him. And so that did make me go pause like, okay. And then there's Ralph Ifans who played the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man, but still, he's a great actor by himself. And I can't remember her name, but her name's Olivia something. She was the actress with the brunette hair, and she was from Bates Motel, and I really liked her in that. And I've really liked her in everything she's done. So the cast has me going, okay. But I think for me, I might do a wait till the first season's over and either see what people say or binge it all together. I think that's where I am with this. Because this series to me, or this trailer to me, just felt like it was, I don't know, giving Game of Thrones fans a hand job. Like that's what it's just like, yeah, you hear in Targaryen, you hear in Stark, you see the throne, like you see the dragons. It just felt like some of my least favorite Star Wars trailers. Like it reminded me of Rogue One, like, oh, we're gonna show you all this stuff to get you hyped. And so I'm, like I said, I'm a bad person to ask, but this trailer, like it looked good for the people that are excited for this. For myself, it didn't necessarily get me back into, man, I gotta watch this. Other than the cast, which then I go, maybe I'll just wait for that cast and other things, but they're good together. So again, I'll wait to see how the show goes up. But my excitement is lower as well because literally at the same time be having Lord of the Rings, and that's where all my fantasy excitement is at the moment. You know, I could spread it, of course, like Marvel and DC, I spread it, but there's just something that I don't know. I don't have that same love. And Superbad, my great point. If nothing else, it's gonna have a great score. Yeah, absolutely. They always do. I got that. You know.
Absolutely. I think initially when I heard about like this series, I really didn't care. I think I was still so bitter about that last season. And I loved Game of Thrones. Like season 2, when season 2 was out, I think that's when I first got into it. And I was just blown away. Like I got so absorbed in it. I made the fatal mistake of just falling in love with the Starks because those first few seasons are not pleasant for them. The whole show pretty much is not pleasant for them. But
yeah,
I was just getting torn at my heartstrings every season. But like I was so in it. My sister got me all the books for my birthday. Like I was totally engaged in it. And then like that last season just totally left a bitter taste in my mouth. And then heard the rumor that we're getting the prequel. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Super, super popular show. People will be watching that even if they hated the last season. Just like Superbad Mike said, like it's gonna look gorgeous. It's gonna have that high budget quality that HBO has been given Game of Thrones. So yeah, I think those stills of like Matt Smith. It's like, oh, Matt Smith's in there. You know, I loved him in Last Night in Soho. He was pretty good, Morbius.
He tried. He did the best he could.
He tried, yeah, 100%. But until I actually saw like the trailer, like everything in motion, I think that's where I was at. But seeing this trailer, it actually like pushed me to that point of being like, okay, I think I have to check this out. Which is kind of interesting because like the story, yeah, you mentioned like I know how it's going, but just to be like back in Westeros and like in these locations again, like come on, like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be obviously dependent on my life schedule and everything. And God, they better not fucking share days with Lord of the Rings. Otherwise, it's
They're
like
not.
yeah.
Lord of the Rings will be Fridays. This will be Sundays.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So doable. Not gonna guarantee it, but still, I think I can guarantee I'll be on like the first episode at least. Just to check it out there, give Taylor a little helping hand in the reviews. But yeah, Matt Smith he looks really good in the role. I think he's gonna obviously he's like one of the main characters, so he's gonna have a lot to do. And I think it'll be fun to follow. The cast looks really good. That young Targaryen girl, like the future queen, I think she looks good in the role. I'm excited to just see what goes on with her and the drama that follows. The Iron Throne looks pretty badass. It sounded like it seemed like they were trying to make it a little bit more true to the books, because a lot of people were disappointed with in the show. It's just like so many less swords. It's like the Throne of 1,000 Swords or whatever they call it. And there was like 5. No, hyperbole, but still there wasn't many. But,
We've lost a lot of swords over these years.
This time around they got a lot more, but yeah, it looks awesome. So like visually wise is what I'm saying. The story wise, we'll see how it goes, but still, I think visually it looks gorgeous, and I just want to be back into like watching TV shows high quality in that age, which I'm going to be getting double dosage with Lord of the Rings coming out, because that's got that super budget too. But
got The Witcher too. Don't forget about The Witcher.
That's right. Yeah, Witcher's awesome. Super excited for the next season of that. But yeah,
and it has that prequel show too, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure with Witcher. Right. Yeah, that prequel show that I saw. Same thing. I'm like, do I check this out? I don't know, but maybe.
That won't have Cavill, unfortunately. But we got The Witchers, so
got The Witchers. You know what we got right now is some casting. So I'm running this by you because this will be a quick one. We have 2 casting that I want to talk about. Originally 3, but then Taylor was like, I got to talk about Godzilla before I leave. But either way, so there's one. How do you feel now? We know we like Dune. You know, we loved Dune. You know, 10 out of 10 for me, 9.5 for Kirk and Patzer. But either way, today we got an announcement of, I don't know what this character, I meant to message, I should have messaged Scott from DC Squadcast, and because he's a big Dune guy, to ask him what he felt about this cast and get like a gauge of this character. But Christopher Walken has been cast as the Emperor in Dune, and yeah, it's, to me, I know Christopher Walken, he can do dramatic acting, and I've even seen it past these years, but it's just, I kind of wonder, sometimes he's very similar to, we just did Jurassic Park Retro that'll be dropping this weekend, like Jeff Goldblum, where I feel like the older he's gone, the more just kind of meme he's got, where people hire Christopher Walken because they want that Christopher Walken eccentricness. So I'm really curious to see what type of character the Emperor is in Dune, because I'm not saying that he's going to be comedic, because I don't think a comedic character fits really in that Dune universe. So yeah, I was thrown off guard. So yeah, Kirklin, you're in the same boat with me. You don't know much about this character, but what do you think about Christopher Walken joining the cast of Dune Part 2?
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those characters that anytime he's in something, I just see him as Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
And in a project like Dune, I feel like you don't really want to have that, even though like the first Dune had many big names, but I was still able to really see them as their characters. So I don't want to just diss it or like just push it to the side, but I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, because I can see it being absolutely amazing. I'm picturing a lot of just makeup and just making him look into a crazy Dune character. And just like the way he talks, I feel like he already kind of has that Emperor feel to him. But also on the other hand, hopefully it's not just the Christopher Walken effect, where I just see him and then it kind of takes me out of the immersion, because that, like, the first Dune is just so immersive, like you just completely get taken in on this journey in the world. So yeah, I'm like, initial thoughts, kind of shocking, honestly. It's pretty wild. I would have I don't know why I would have assumed someone that I don't really know who would be like the Emperor.
I just wasn't assuming anybody that has lots of I'd say past 20 years known for more comedic stuff than dramatic stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, because he's one of those actors that kind of started dramatic and then turned comedic, right? So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very excited to see what they do there. Yeah, I same thing. I just don't want people have heard this before. Not my biggest hang up, obviously, but one of my biggest hang ups with Boba Fett was when Danny Trejo came. And it's like, I love Danny Trejo. I have no problem with Danny Trejo, but when he was there, all I saw was Danny Trejo, right? And it took me out. Yeah, so if all I see is Christopher Walken and Dune, that'll take me out big time, and I think that could be a mistake. But I'm willing to give it a shot, so we'll see. The only thing that you have nothing to shout out here. I just want to shout out that Hayden Panettiere, she's coming back for Scream 6. I'm very excited about this because I didn't even know this happened. So Scream 4, she's in there. Scream 4 for me is definitely like the lowest of the franchise, but she was like a huge character as far as like very likable. She was like the film nerd, but she was just, I don't know, big fan favorite at that time. I had a major crush on Hayden Panettiere back in the day. Yeah, okay, good. I was like, our era definitely has that. Love you, Beth Cooper. The only reason I saw that because I thought, she might be naked, and alas, she was not. But anyway,
they hinted at it in the trailers. Those
they did. She had that towel and stuff. Man, they got me. They bit.
They got my movie ticket.
Yeah, they hook, line, sinker me. Yeah, so she's coming back, which is interesting because in Scream 4 she had like died, but there was never like a body, so there was potential that you could do that. But yeah, so she's coming back. I'm very excited. I guess in Scream 5 there was like a little, people were watching YouTube videos, and then on the side you could zoom in. It was like interview with Woodsboro survivor Kirby Reed, and it's like, oh, I never knew that. So, and what's cool is the people that are currently directing Scream are like massive Scream fans, and they're doing some, I think, good fan service. And I like, because so far we haven't heard some of the other old cast members coming back, and I think they could sit out one because we have lots of really good, or I'd say some good new characters that we've created, and she's another Survivor character you can bring back that hasn't been back. So I'm fucking pumped and everything like that. I'm really excited to see what she's gonna do, and that's already coming out next year because they're filming that like in the next few months. That first movie came out, the reboot came. It's not even a reboot, I guess. Just the last Scream came out, big hit, and they're all back in the Scream business. I love it. I'm always up for a good slasher, So you never gonna catch up, Hayden Panettiere, is that crush gonna make you catch up to the new Scream?
I should, honestly.
Last one was good. You could watch the last one without even having to watch the other ones.
Yeah?
I think anyone that's in the podcasting realm would appreciate, because there's so much good stuff about like film Twitter and like loser fanboys and stuff, like the stuff cool. We talk about, like people mad about Ryan Johnson, like there's really good commentary on all that stuff. Yeah, Superman Mike definitely had a crush on Hayden Panettiere when I was a teenager too. See, it's just something. And I didn't even watch Heroes. I didn't even watch Heroes,
Yeah, she was big on that. And then what was that other show she did? It was like a country show.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Heartland?
Nashville, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh wait, she was like a country singer, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, it was her and Connie Britton.
Yes, that's right. What the fuck were we just talking about? I totally lost my train of thought now.
Scream. You ever gonna catch up?
Oh yeah, Scream. It's definitely not a movie I'll be able to get Shay to watch with me, but
right.
I think that's the type of horror movie that I actually really like, because it's not just too gory. Like it like the psychological aspect of it is really fun too. Of like, you don't know who the killer is, and at the end of the day, it's just like a classic slasher with a very iconic villain. So I think I've only seen the first one. That's the one that sticks with me the most. So I always intertwine. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I've seen the second Scream, but I think they're like scenes from like Scary Movie 1.
Yeah,
like, no,
we've talked about that before.
Yeah. But no, I should get in there, especially since the last one sounded like everybody really liked it. I remember you said you liked it.
Oh yeah.
April, one of our Patreons, she said she really loved it. So yeah, I should check that out.
Well, our last thing, are you going to be checking? I had to share this. I shared this GUA. I shared this with GV. I shared this on Twitter. I was just flabbergasted. This isn't even the notes, but I think you know where I'm going. But so I had dropped this on August 5th on Peacock. There is a slasher, a new horror film dropping it, starring Kevin Bacon, which, that's great. I'm always down for more Kevin Bacon. But this is a movie. It's called They/Them, starring Kevin Bacon. It's a slasher film that is set in an LGBTQIA, I didn't even know that I got added to it, I+ conversion camp, where the campers work together to protect themselves, but when a mysterious killer starts claiming victims, things get even more dangerous. What do you think about that? What do you think about that plot, Kirklin?
That's a choice right there. what do I think about that plot? I like Kevin Bacon, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the plot is not something that interests me in this movie. I think this is a project that um, I I I would only be sold, I think, on the trailer. I would have to see
Yes.
a good trailer about
Definitely
it.
want a
'Cause-
trailer. We're
'cause
definitely
on
gonna talk about the
paper-
trailer.
Yeah, because on paper, I'm not scratched at the bit for that. It's it's a creepy concept, like in and of
Mhm.
itself, but for some reason, just all of that together isn't selling me, even with Kevin Bacon on there.
So, and this is my bad. I didn't look at who's directing it. For me, this is a super tightrope movie because, and I know you're searching up directors, see what they've done because I feel like it's somebody I haven't heard of before. Because I feel like this is
Bofield.
Bofield. Yeah, look at what they've done. I don't know, but I feel like this has so much close territory. Like even the title "They Them," it just sounds like this could be set up that pisses a lot of people off and makes a lot of mistakes and everything like that. Now the reverse is though that this could be like a Get Out, where you could if I were, because I had this crazy experience where I was talking to somebody. I'm not gonna say who. One of my friends posted a picture on Facebook. It was him, and there was a bunch of people. It was like at a golf course or something. But all the people in the picture were white, and they looked like they were the people in Get Out, like bidding on the black people's bodies. And I made this reference to a friend, and he didn't get it. And I had to explain to him the plot of Get Out that, oh, it's about these old rich white people and they bid to take the soul of a black body and yet da, da, da. And explaining that, like trying to explain that out loud to someone that hadn't seen it, I felt like a fucking crazy person. He's like, man, like that's a movie. Like it almost sounds like a little bit racist when you explain it out loud. So the same way of like I'm explaining this movie where there's a conversion camp with a bunch of gay and transgender people and there's gonna be a killer in this camp potentially taking them out. And it just on surface, you go, man, this sounds like it go really bad. But it could be like Get Out where it's so clever and it's so smart and it uses kind of racism tools to one, shine a light on, but also to give you this really, out there, unique horror, like horror sci-fi concept, like high concept horror that I think this could happen. Now, this is just a slasher, but if this is like the killers like targeting these computer and conversion camps, we had, like today I had no idea what this is. Those are some of the worst fucking places in the world. If there's someone out there where you have a kid and they're gay and you think the best thing to do is send them to conversion camp to get them to be straight again. If there is a hell, you're going there. There's a nice special place for you, just like the little Nicky. You're getting multiple pineapples up the ass. Like let people be who they want to. The fact that conversion camps are still a thing are fucking sickening. So that's where it's like there is a way of like this killer, if they're like targeting these like counselors or whoever it may be, there is a spin on it you can do. And the other thing that is good, because I saw some of the cast, there's multiple actual transgender people in there. It's not actual just actors playing transgender. It's transgender people. So when there's lots of projects that people are saying, hey, we want diversity, this is something where you're literally getting diversity because, hey, we're wanting to talk about the subject and we actually want people that represent this subject. So it could be a genuine movie. So that's what I'm hoping the route it is. Because at first I thought, I don't know. But there's a sliver there. But like I said, the stumble of this going really wrong is very easy. It's very easy to do. So I'm definitely gonna be watching this. I'm definitely will watch the trailer and see, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'll probably do a review for it. And my last point is Kevin Bacon. Love Kevin Bacon. I love that he's going back to a camp that's like a counselor sort of deal, because one of his first roles was in Friday the 13th where he got killed off as a camp counselor. So it's like that's a fun thing that he's kind of turning back to some of his roots. And I think he's gonna be great because I think Kevin Bacon might be playing one of the conversion people, and he can be when Kevin Bacon wants to be a piece of shit like villain bad guy, Kevin Bacon can fucking do that. So that's where this movie has potential. I just think it also has potential to be an absolute train wreck, like offensive train wreck. But I hope not. I trust Kevin Bacon that he wouldn't be in something like that.
Yeah, I misspoke actually. So there was another project called They Them, directed by Bofield.
Oh yeah.
In 2020, and that individual happens to be a trans person as well.
Okay.
So it's like that that makes sense. Someone helping that has experience with that, doing a project about that, because that's what that project was about as well.
A horror film.
No, I'm saying it was just tackling like a
Okay.
trans individual.
Exact plot line,
yeah.
except it was like not a conversion camp, like a hotel or something.
Kevin Bacon was in that as well.
Yeah.
So this one, it's a directorial debut for John Logan.
Okay.
says
So
Penny
that could go two
Dreadful
ways.
in quotes, whatever the
Okay.
hell that means.
That probably meant he worked on the TV show Penny Dreadful. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, American playwright, it says. So, yeah, he'll be directing his first
yeah,
project.
because it's had multiple on IMDb. It's listed as Whistler Camp, and then at one point it was called Rejoice, and then it's called They Them. The plot line is a queer empowerment story set at a gay conversion camp. I don't know if people knew it was a thriller or whatnot, but again, John Lowe, who knows? That could be, Get Out was he wrote Kirklin. He was a writer on Skyfall. That's a good thing.
There you go.
He was a
That is
writer on
good.
The Aviator. He was a writer on Sweeney Todd. He was a writer on Gladiator. So he has some
The Last
potential.
Samurai.
Yeah. So you know what? It could be his Get Out. The way Jordan Peele, that was his. He also wrote Alien Covenant. So he also wrote
Gladiator.
Spectre. I said Gladiator already. So
No, I didn't
he's
hear
had
ya.
some hits. He's had some misses. But haven't we all?
He's done Spectre, Skyfall. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited for a trailer. I'm excited to see the vibe
Yeah,
of
me
this
too.
thing, and we'll go from there. But I think I'll definitely be
Absolutely.
reviewing that come time August, so look out for that. But that's
I
it.
always
We
count on you to review the wild
weird
card
shit.
picks. Because
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
you do the Karen movie too? Didn't
I
you
did do
review
the
that?
Karen. I reviewed the Karen
Fuck.
movie. It was awful. It
Took
was
that one
absolutely
for
awesome.
us.
Yeah. Go check out my Karen review. But
Hopefully the trailers and like that, because that trailer scared me away from that film. I
yeah,
had
that
no
triggered
interest in
everybody.
that.
But I just had to watch it. But my hope is that I watch it. It's great, and I make you fuckers have to watch it for Golden Geeks.
Geeks.
So hey, if it's great, if it's like the next
Hey,
Get Out,
I'm
why
chuckling
not?
for the fact that it's like that would be a wild one, especially
Yeah.
just my initial thoughts on it. And then if it comes full circle, we're going for like best movie of the year with the
Oh,
movies
yeah.
we've already had.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough task.
Beats them all. Huge movie. Well, we did it. We did a newscast. This is the last one of the week. Thanks you to Taylor and Chris for stopping by
Yeah.
for a little bit, having some fun. That was we were expecting a duo, but we'll do another duo one in the future because they took it from us. But that's a good thing.
know.
We always want people joining in,
Absolutely.
having some fun. And there'll be multiple casts because when this released the next day, Dylan is releasing his Elden Ring spoilers review. The Jurassic Park retro is going to be going live. And then there'll be like another newscast. So we got you covered all the way up until Obi-Wan because that's always the next big thing. So thank you very much from myself. Anything else to say, Kirkland, before we're out of here?
I don't think so. Tune in. Won't be boring.
There
That's
you
usually
go.
what we say.
Won't be boring.
Peace.